Hello, 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 and hello again, everyone. You are welcome. You are welcome. I really appreciate you coming here to listen to what we have for everyone today. Um, at the moment, it's people are on holiday, things are happening. You might be hearing sheep in the background. Hey, I've got a lovely sight in front of me here. I wish you could see it as well. I'm not making you jealous, so yeah, so it's so nice. I haven't got my usual background, so that says something. You are welcome. You are really welcome. Thank you for taking time out of no time to actually learn from a professional in her field. And we have a lovely, lovely, lovely guest today. And I will be introducing her very shortly. You might be asking, why are we doing this? This is exam results season, I would say, because last week was or was it this week actually? Yeah, last week was the A levels results came out. This week, the GCSEs results will be out, and 11 plus, different things. People are writing exams here and there. Results are coming out here and there. Parents are even more anxious, more nervous for, for their children than the children themselves. And so many things going on. And we want to do it right. We want to take the right steps. We want to be able to give praise where praise is needed. We want to, be able to approach the matter in a way that will not break a child when they get their results. There could be success. Life is ups and downs. There could be success when you expect it. There could be failure. There could be, oh, not so good. There could be good. So many things. Life is a roller coaster. We want to do it right. We want to be there as their support system. So that is why we're doing this, especially for some of us who our first children are, at that stage where they're getting their results, and we want to, actually make sure we're doing the right things for them and also pointing them in the right direction. So I've got someone who has been in the system of parenting for a long time. She's been through it. She's done that, seen that, and so she's the best person to really help us tonight with responses, because these exams, I tell you, they are life changing. They are defining moments for our children, and we want to get it right. So without further ado, I will call on the screen. I will show you her webpage first. Sorry, our Facebook page first, and that is she is a teen and parent coach. She she's done so many talks. She does so many talks, and for her to even find time to say, "Okay, yeah, I'll come on." Oh, it's such a blessing, such a blessing. She doesn't know how much I am. So I'm bubbling in my heart to have her, because she's very rare. She's a rare gem, but she actually found time to do this. So thank you very much. And I call on the screen tonight Fina Chichi, who is our special guest. You are welcome.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. How are you? You're good?
I am all right. I am all right. Thank you for
Awesome. Awesome.
accepting to do this.
You
Thank you.
you are welcome.
Thank you.
For me, it's always a pleasure to talk to parents. It's always a
Mm,
pleasure to interact with parents and share with parents, because parenting can be challenging. It's not an
mm,
easy role. It's not an easy character. It's just not easy. But when we do it right, we get the right results. And when we do it wrong, it can be really stressful.
yeah,
It can
you're
really be
right.
stressful. It can really
You're
be
right.
stressful. So I think thank you also for putting this up, because this topic is very, very relevant, especially to first time parents who are, these are like the major exams,
Yeah.
GCSEs being a major
Yes.
exam for a first time parent who's at the GCSE level. You were right. A level results came out last week. And this
Mm,
coming Thursday is the GCSEs.
yeah.
I'm in that category as well, because my daughter is expecting her results, and so
Yeah.
the topic is very vital, very timely, and very relevant, because it could be the make or break
Mm.
of
But before you go,
relationships.
Before you
Yes.
talk about the make or break, can I ask you
Yes.
to introduce yourself properly? Because I know
Oh,
I've just
yes.
a pinch
Okay,
of
that's
the
fine.
whole thing.
That's
So
fine.
that's what I've done. So over to you. Can you please introduce yourself? Let our parents know you. Someone saw the poster and said, "Oh, I know her. Oh, I know her." And
Yes.
I'm like, "Yeah, everyone knows her. She's a celebrity." I'm like, so please introduce yourselves to everyone, to yourself.
Oh, that's funny. Thank you so much. So my name is Fina Chichi Ikeji. I'm a parenting teens coach and also a coach for teenagers as well. I focus when I coach teenagers, I focus on their emotional, mental, and social well-being. That's my expert area. And for parents, I focus on communication and connection, and also how to evolve in our parenting journey. I've been doing this now for over 10 years. It's a passion, it's a love, it's everything. It's my wake-up call. It's everything you can think about. I can be reading one quote that is saying ABCD. I immediately convert it to parenting, or I converted to how am I going to tell teenagers
Mm,
about this. So that's my life, really. I used to be a
yeah.
chartered accountant.
Whoa.
I did that for years, and I decided at a stage in my life to focus more on what I'm called to do. So this is my life now.
Yeah.
And yes, many of you may have seen me on videos because I do a lot of videos and stuff. Um, because what we're doing is transforming. What we're doing is changing lives because this generation is a totally different generation, and we cannot afford to parent today's generation like our own generation.
Mm,
So it's an evolving it's an evolving journey with our teenagers. Our
yeah.
teenagers are not like how we were when we were kids. They will tell you, they will talk to you, or they will internalize it. So it's so important to learn. I love this quote by Alvin Toffler that says, um, the illiterates of the 21st century, they won't be those who cannot read or write. They're going to be those who are unwilling to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And
Yeah.
I caught that quote. I caught it, and I was like, this is a go-to quote for every parent.
Yeah.
The
You know what?
illiterates are not. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, let me give you a story. One of
Mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm.
inductions I had when I changed my role and I went into I had to do an induction and they were like, "Oh, why are
Yes,
you here?" Da, 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 da. So I just remember because I was in a talk with you once where
yes,
you
yes.
you said that and I thought, "Oh yeah, this is the reason." So I told them, I said, "Oh, I'm here to learn, to relearn, and to unlearn." And they're like, "Yeah,
Yes,
I'm gonna
yes.
use that." I said, "Oh, you don't know where I've been." Yeah.
That's
It's so awesome
amazing.
when you catch
That's amazing.
those lovely
Yes,
quotes. Yeah.
yes, yes.
So
Yeah, it's yeah.
now, you
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned, you said this result season for
Yes,
our children is a make or break. What does
yes.
that mean? So I over to you, just carry on talking and if I have any
Okay.
questions.
Yes.
And yes, for those who are out there who have logged on, thank you to those who are online, who are watching. Please write
Yes.
your comments there, share the video, like and let's ask questions that are bothering our minds, or even it might not just be your question, it might be a question for
Mm-hmm.
someone you've seen in a family and you think, oh, how do you treat this kind of situation?
Yes.
What do you say in the situation? How do you treat it?
Mm-hmm.
So please
Mm-hmm.
write your comments down, write your questions, and Fina Chichi is here to
Yes.
educate every one of us. So over to you. What
Thank
does it
you.
mean that this
To
exam
make or
results are
break,
making
yes.
or make?
Yeah. When I refer to make or break, people might think I'm talking about, so it's either if they don't make it, then life stops or that. My make or break is about the relationship. My make or break is about the emotional support that you give your children at this time. They're going to remember it for a very long, long time. Because GCSEs, these big exams, they're big deals to our children. They've studied hard. They've put in their best. That's their best that they've put in. Of course, maybe some of them may have not put in as much as they should have, but this time, the results day is going to be a make or break. So the results day is going to be one of those days where they get it and they say, wow, okay, so all that work I put in paid off. Some are going to say, oh my word, after all that work I put in, I still didn't get it. So you're going to have different reactions, different results that are going to happen. But every parent, I will encourage you to be their number one supporter, no matter what direction it's gone to. Because, yes, GCSEs is a big exam, but it's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. If they make it, great. We encourage them so that they keep on making it in their future exams. If they don't make it as much as stay calm, what are the lessons from this? Because if they take the lessons, then in their next exams, they're going to even excel more than anything.
Yeah.
So our reactions as parents is number one, is key. We cannot even afford to go left or right. It's massive. I'm going to share something that I thought about this morning. There's something that gets in the way of our reactions to our parents. And I'll tell you what it is. It's a trap. And it's the what will people say syndrome. People are scared about how are they going to say, because people are going to be asking, what did your child get? What did your child do? How did your child do? So parents are actually on the edge right now, because what are the answers they're going to give people about their children's results? But here's something I want to tell you. Your children's results are nobody's business. If you want to share the results, that's fine, but you're not obliged to. I shared this a few years ago, and I told some parents, I said, don't be under the pressure to give out your children's results on Facebook and all these social medias. If you don't want to, that's fine. If you want to, that's okay as well. Because I noticed then, this was about 3 years ago, many parents were under pressure. What would they say? What will they say? And I said, no, you don't have to say anything. You can say, congratulations, my child did amazing. I am so proud of my child. You don't have to give the exact grades. There's no law that says, please share the exact grades. No law. Now, if you want to, that's fine. Because I think if you know that it's something that is encouraging for others, then yes, do. Because I remember in my time, when my son did his GCSEs, the year before that, one of my friends, her daughter had done her GCSEs, and her daughter got all nines. So she shared it with me on a WhatsApp, on my WhatsApp. And I appreciated it. I said, thank you so much. And I shared her results with my son. So again, inspiration. Like, see, someone has done it, so it's possible. And that kind of stuff. So, because he was aiming for nines as well. So that was kind of more of an inspiration. So yes, if you want to share it, when my son did his GCSEs as well, I shared his results. Because again, I knew that was going to encourage other people the way my friend Doi encouraged me. Okay, so everything depends on but when you know that it's pressure, when you can feel the pressure heating up, then please don't be under any obligation to share the actual results. Okay, that's very, very important, because the what will people say syndrome gets a lot in the way of parenting reactions. Because it's not, your child doesn't get the grades that you expected. Your first thought is, what would I tell somebody else? What would I say? What would people think? And then you use that mindset in judging your child, in saying you should have done better. Oh, what you see, after all I told you to do, after what you see, that's why I was telling you to read. That's why I was doing this. That's not the time for all that nonsense. Sorry, I had to call it nonsense, but that's not the time for that.
So I guess parents see it as their own results. It's your result of how well you've done, or how well.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's not. It's your child's results. It's not your results. And don't take it personal, because this is the time where your child will learn. Because a lot of times we've told our children, go and study, go and study. Oh, I've studied. Oh, I've done this. Now the results has come out. If they didn't do as well, then it won't even be that day you will talk about it. Please do not, and we'll see, we're going here for the if it's not what you expected. Don't address it that same day, as in, what are the lessons from this? Because that's one of the things we will take up, is what are the lessons from this? What are you going to do next time in your studying and all that stuff? So those kind of discussions will still come up. But number one is support. And I will share 3 things that I wrote down here. There are 3 questions every child is asking themselves subconsciously. There are 3 questions every child is asking themselves on result day subconsciously. Am I loved? Number 2, does this grade determine the outcome of my life? And number 3, does life give me another chance? So those are 3 questions that are ringing in their minds very subconsciously. They may not even know how to verbalize it, but subconsciously, when they get their results, the reaction is going to answer that question of, am I loved? It's going to answer that question. Am I loved? Their reaction as well is going to answer that question of, does this grade determine the outcome of my life? And you and I know that no, it doesn't. It helps. Let's say that. Let's be honest. It helps. It gives you a great foundation to everything else you're going to do on top. So that is why a lot of parents encourage their children, put in your best, give it your best. No matter what it is, give it your best so that you have a great foundation to then build up on. Okay, because if you don't do too well, then the foundation is shaking, then you've got to go through a different route to get then back up. So do the best that you can is what we always encourage our children at this stage. The other reaction is, does life give me another chance? And that is in terms of our reactions. Our reactions are going to answer that question. If we react as if it's the end of the world, oh my word, how can, oh, what am I going to say? What am I going to do? How are you going to cope? How, then you're telling your child that there are no other chances in life. And that's not true. There are lots and lots of chances. So the emotional support that we give our children at this stage is what is going to help build their resilience up for other things they're going to do. Because guess what? They're still going to take tougher exams than GCSEs. They're going to take tougher exams. They're going to do tougher things. They're going to go through different challenges. But our support is key. And I'll tell you another reason why our support is key. Apart from answering those 3 questions, our support is key because a lot of times our children's resilience levels are not as much as they should be at this stage. And so many children can see setbacks as the end of the world and do some things that you and I can't even imagine. I've heard of children who have killed themselves because of their results. I've heard of children who have taken self-harm to a different level because of results. I've heard of children who have gone into depression because of results. So our emotional support for our children is so important. And these things that we've heard, children also have heard them. They're on the internet, they're everywhere. So social media, children know that these kind of things happen. So building up our children's resilience, our emotional support helps to build that resilience because they know, okay, maybe I didn't do as well, or maybe I did very well. I can still link back to my parents' support. So that's really, really key. Our emotional support is key. And if we can get rid of that first, what will people say syndrome, then that takes us far because that would then help us with our emotional support and what we're going to do. Here, I'm going to share some tips about the day itself. Okay, so on the day, on results day, here are a few tips I want to share. Give them space in the morning. I know you might be panicking and you might be thinking, oh my God, the exam day, oh, it's 10 o'clock or it's 9. Oh, what are we going to do? Please calm down, parents.
Thank you.
Please calm down. Please calm down. Because they are as, yes, that's okay. Because they are as nervous as anything. So don't add to their nerves. Please don't add to their nerves by stressing out that morning. Let that morning be a calm morning. And before then, because today is Monday, the results come on Thursday. Before then, actually, let me just share a few tips before then the results then. Now, because of their stress levels and our children they respond to stress in different ways. Because of the different ways they respond to stress, it's important that we are observant about how they're feeling at the moment, what they're doing at the moment. Some of them are just watching a lot of Netflix movies to kind of get their minds away from it. Some might be just tired, forgetful. Some might just be irritable. You might just tell them something and they just get irritable. But please don't take that personal. They're just dealing with the stress level of the uncertainty. Thursday is an uncertainty for them. They don't know what's going to happen on Thursday. So when children are faced with uncertainty and the unknown, they can react to stress in different ways. So please bear with them this week. Please don't use this week in telling them off, in saying why didn't you tidy your bed, or that's not even important right now on their in their brains right now. That's even the last thing on their brains. So let them be this week, because that will help them on results day. Yeah, so please let them be. Let them, because when you observe their stress levels and your understanding of their stress levels, that also helps to build that emotional support that we are talking about. So it's really, really key. Observe, notice what's going on. I know with my daughter, she's watching a lot of Netflix stuff, and that's okay. That's really okay. I see her read sometimes, but she's doing more of watching Netflix or listening to some YouTube music and stuff, and that's okay, because we know that Thursday is coming. Okay, I asked her once. I said, "How are you feeling about Thursday?" She said, "So." I said, "Okay, all right, that's fine." And I left it at that. I didn't go and start asking her again and again, and I'm not going to really ask her again and again until we get to results day. So give them that space. Okay, so that's before the results day. Then now on the in the exam day, please again let the mornings be calm. Let's start the mornings on a calm level. Give them the space that they need in the morning to gather their thoughts, because that's really, really, really important. Avoid asking them too many questions that morning, please. Avoid asking them too many questions that morning. It's really, really important. Okay. Avoid yelling at them. I wouldn't see a reason why you would yell at them, but I'm just saying this in case. In case, please. That day is a yell-free day. Yell-free day, please. It's a yell-free day. Also, avoid telling them off for a chore that they didn't do. To be honest, washing the dishes and all that stuff, that's not necessary for that day. Please give them that day. Give them that day off. Yeah, give them that day. It's not the end of the world. They already know how to do dishes. So them not doing dishes that day is not gonna kill them. It's not gonna ruin their lives as adults. So let's be mindful, because we want them to feel our emotional support. We want them to feel it, so that any thoughts that come in their minds, they know that, okay, you know what? There's no point for this, because my mom supports me, my dad is there for me. They're not scared. Many of them sometimes are scared of the reactions of their parents, and we don't want that, because again, as I'm saying, the reactions that we have today, the reactions that we have on result day, they're not going to be forgotten in a million years. They're not going to be forgotten. So we have to be there for them, no matter what it is. So be kind, be nice, just do all the things that you would want somebody else to do for you.
Yeah.
When you are getting your results. So do all that. Hug them, reassure them that you're there for them. I know you might think that you're there for them, but it will be good for them to hear those words. It will be good for them to hear those words, that you are there for them. So reassure them with that. Give them a hug, and tell them that you are proud of them no matter what. Okay, so that's key. Please don't threaten them. Please don't compare them and say, "Oh, like your brother did, so I'm expecting you to do well." Please don't say that. Please just avoid saying that. And also, sometimes we are as excited as they are, but leave the excitement to them. Yeah, don't go and say, "Oh, I can't wait! I can't wait for your results to come out." It's not our results. Just let them handle the excitement and the worries that comes with it. Please, because it's a lot on them. So when they get their results, if they did very well in their results, they got all the grades that they wanted to get, compliment them, praise them, but make sure that in your praise, you are praising the efforts they put in. Please. Yeah. So the 9s they get, the 8s they get, awesome. Wow. Look at how awesome the efforts you put in paid off. The word efforts put in paid off is very important. The word that they worked hard, it's very important in that praise. Because if you avoid those terms in that praise, your child is going to look at 9 and 8 as the how can I put it, as I don't want to say the goal, but they're going to use that as almost like what's the word now, as a standard. That so now in anything they're doing, they have to get the 9 or 8, and if they don't get that 9 and 8, that means they're no good.
Hmm.
And we know that's not inspiring enough to get our children to get the A's that we want them to get in A levels. It's the work they put in, because if you praise the work they put in, they're going to do more work. Yeah. So if you praise the efforts that they put in, they know that for next time, we've got to put in more efforts to get the kind of grades we got for GCSEs.
Hmm.
But if you praise the grade itself, they forget about the effort they put in. And we want the effort they put in to remain in their minds. We want the effort they put in to be part of their motivation for their next level. So we love it that they got the 9s. We love it that they got the 8s. But when we're praising them, please make sure that we put in the word efforts or the hard work that they put in, because that's what they're going to remember when it's time for their next level. They're going to remember that the praise that they got was for the effort they put in. So that means they've got to put in more effort again for the next part. And so effort and hard work becomes the norm. Okay? Effort and hard work becomes the norm. And you and I know that they're going to need that effort and hard work in every other thing they're doing, not just in school, but in their sports, in whatever it is they're doing. Effort and hard work will be part of their habits, part of their makeup. And so praising that is very, very important to do that. Okay, so that's if they did well. When they did, when they did well. So if they didn't do as well as you guys talked about and spoke about, compliment them for what they did so far. Yes, okay, you worked hard. The results are not as good as you wanted to. Tell them you are still proud of them. Okay, that may not ring normal to many of us, because many of us, our parents, did not do that. If you did not get the grades that you were expected, we did not. I'm not even saying we didn't even expect emotional support, because it was not anywhere around. For many of us, I don't want to generalize it, because many people may have gotten the emotional support, but majority of us didn't get it. And so it's important that we practice it. It's not something that we saw, so it's not something that we default to. So if your children didn't get it, I'm not saying you're going to smile and like, oh, this is awesome. We're not saying that, but make sure that you are in a balanced level where they still know that you love them. Now, what are we going to do about it? Will be the next stage. So support them, give them a hug, and if they're upset and they're crying and stuff that they're doing, give them some time. Tell them to just go take some time out, because you guys will need to talk later about the next steps. If it was A levels, in A levels time, we'll talk about, okay, what's the clearing like? What school? What's the next option for the school? Even in GCSEs, okay, if they didn't make the right grades, okay, what are then the options that they have? What other colleges or whatever, what other schools is there for them? And it's important for us to know that no matter what our children got in GCSEs, they can still make it in life. No matter what. We're hoping they got the grades that they deserve. We're wishing they got it. We're supporting them. We want them to get it because they worked hard. But what if they didn't make the grades that they wanted? It's a time to kind of sit back now and think, okay, what's next? What's the next option? What is the solution to this? And the way you help your child in this situation is going to determine actually even their resilience for next time victories, because they know that, do you know what? I didn't do as well. My parents supported me. I'm going to make them proud. I'm going to do better next time. There's a fight in them to do better. But when we criticize them and say, you see, if you had done what I said to do, you just demoralize them, and they can't get up from that to then do better in the next one. All they will just do is just go with flow. Okay, I'm doing this now. Okay, so there will not be that zeal, because our children want to please us. They have that zeal to please us. If we support them in the right way, but when we criticize them and do things like that, it won't work. We have to look at the future. What's the next step? How do we want them to be able to cope, even when we're not there? Because we're not going to be there for 24/7 with our children. We want them to have that resilience, that tenacity in them, that no matter, even if I failed now, I'm going to get back up and try again. And that's what life is really all about. So if they start that now in at this stage, then let's give them the support so that when they're away from us, they know that they can still get back up. But if we put them down at this stage, then there's nothing for them to fight for. They can easily give up. There's nothing for them to fight for because there'll be other people out there that didn't do as well. And so I would encourage parents to be their number one supporter, no matter what way it goes. Okay. And it will also give us a chance to, if it didn't go very well, then okay, what can we do? What can we do about it? Solution, be solution minded in that situation. So very, very important. Your own emotions as parents is very key. Your own emotions as parents is very key. Self-control, being mindful of your words, because children will remember it. We speak to adults, we all talk to ourselves about our childhood, and you're amazed at how many things that we remember growing up. You know, that's the same thing our children are going to remember as well. They remember a lot about their growing up. And it's key. We're not saying that, we're not going to encourage our children or correct our children. No, that's not what we're saying. We're just saying that at this time, the emotional support that we give them is key to their future success. It's really, really key. And I can tell you from examples and from experiences that I have, is that it's very, very key. And even for the ones that do very, very well, we've got to also be mindful with our support for them as well. If there's a way you can overdo it, they will hold on to that achievement and not be able to deal with falls that will happen in the future. Okay, so be quite mindful with the way we go on about it. Make sure that there's a balance.
Yeah.
And that's why, as I said previously, that hard work and effort needs to be put in. If you're, Christians, we talk about the faith, we talk about the dependence on how God has helped us. So it's having the balance. Balance is key.
Yes, I was about asking that question. How about, a child does really well, because we've seen that in many cases where you set a precedence, and if you maybe you buy an aeroplane for a child because they've done so how do you, I think for parents who are wondering, what do I do to ensure I appreciate this child properly without going overboard, do some uncomfortable things,
it's
and
important.
go ahead. So
it's important that we don't go overboard. I must say that, because there's still got a lot to achieve in this world, and you don't want to get to a stage where at GCSEs you buy them an aeroplane. Then what next are you going to do at A levels? What next are you going to do after the university? And sometimes if you don't meet up to what you did at first, then they won't even appreciate it. And then you will feel bad and say, well, I gave you this and you didn't appreciate it. But so it comes in levels, and we've got to be mindful. I know, yes, we can afford more than before, but it doesn't mean we should go all out in giving them that reward. It's good to give them a reward. It's good to appreciate them, but keep it in balance. I can't say specifically what you should get for your child, because that's going to be up to you. That's going to be up to what your child loves. That's going to be up to what you guys can afford. But in just being just being relative to what you can afford, just make it balanced, because you will know when it's a bit too much. Yeah, you would know that. So that's what I would encourage. I would encourage parents. You're welcome.
Thank you. I also, just for the viewers who are listening, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for being here with us. We want this video to be shared with as many parents who are thinking of how to support their children, who are maybe over expecting. Need to manage their expectations at this stage of the children, and realizing that it's not our result, it's the children's results. And you've said so many things I've highlighted, and I'll mention a few of them towards the end. So if you're listening, viewers out there, please share the video. Please write comments, send us questions, so that Fina Chichi can answer all those questions in our minds.
Yes.
about exam results for the children. So remember, even from the primary school, 11 plus, people are like, oh, you're not going to
Yes.
primary school. If they don't make it, you're like, oh, that means
Yes.
you're going to go to just any school out there.
Yes.
We don't want
Yes.
to
And
give them that impression that
no.
it's a do or die.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
it's
Totally.
not. It's not.
Totally.
People flourish in different places. Like they're like plants. Put them
Yes.
in the right atmosphere. I put them in the right
Exactly.
condition, they will flourish. So
Yes.
I
Yes.
know as parents we want to do our best to give them
Yes.
the best, and
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
we can only do what we
Yes.
can do as parents. So
Yes, yes, totally. And I
then,
think also when you mentioned 11 plus, it's very important that we observe our children and know if our know our children. Some children are like, you know what, 11 plus is going to be the best thing for them. Some children struggle with 11 plus. And so it's important that we observe, where our children fit in. Yes, give them, let them go for it. If you've got the opportunity and it happens in your borough, let them go for it. But if you see that the pressure that they can't handle it, it's important that you're aware of that and give them the support needed for that. But I would just encourage you to be mindful, because I think some parents do it because other parents are doing it, and not really observing their own children individually. So I think it's really important. It's really important for that. That's what I thought I would share with you on that.
yes, thank you.
Yeah,
I think
you're
we need
welcome.
to talk more because I know there are some 11 parents of children who are currently preparing their children for 11 plus at
Yes.
the moment, and I'm also an 11 plus tutor. So
Okay. Okay.
there's so much pressure on those
Yes.
children,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
a word of advice for
Mm-hmm.
parents: if the children get it, oh, very good. If they don't,
Yes.
what
Yes.
to expect, what not to expect. And I think
Mm-hmm.
from your experience, because you've trained children from the very beginning,
Yes.
running to
Yes.
Harvard, I would
Yes.
say. So thank you
Yes.
very
Yes.
so please share your experience
Yes.
with us. And I
Yes.
have one
Yeah.
more question after that.
Okay. Okay. So I think, a lot of times, and that's why I'm very big on emotional support, because when the more we give our children emotional support, it actually translates to help them in their academics. A lot of times when you see children who struggle a lot with their academics, there's a gap with emotional support. Emotional support can help our children rise up in their academics so much so. And that's why when you hear me talk about no yelling, no this, no that, I know why I'm saying it, because it actually affects them in their studies. It affects them in their motivation. I don't know if you're like me, but I'm one of those people who I didn't want to in my children's lives. I didn't want to be the person always saying, go and do your homework. Make sure you do this. Make sure you do. No, I raised my children in such a way that they are self-motivated. So they go and do it themselves because they want to achieve these things. We talk about goals together. We talk about, okay, what are we working on? And I share with them what I'm working on as well, so that we're doing it all together and everyone is self-motivated. So the motivation, giving your children that emotional support helps them with their academics. And through 11 plus, yes, there are lots of studying, lots of you know homework to do or papers to rewrite, and keep questions to go through all the time. And parents, it's important that we are supportive of them, so that we also team up and help the 11 plus tutors as well. So if they give your children homework to do, make sure that you keep an eye on the homework. Make sure that your children have structured their time in such a way that they're able to do the work as well as do other things that they need to do, and so that you're able to pace them out. But if you don't have an eye on what they're doing, then it's hard for them to cope with the pressure. So it's important that we're part of the structure. You help them with the structure, help them with their timetable, their timetables, help them with their time management and stuff like that. And that support you give them helps them in being able to retain. So can you imagine a parent shouting at the child, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? You finish shouting at the child, and the child has to go sit down now and be doing verbal reasoning. I mean, how how is the child going to adjust from the yelling to the verbal reasoning? I mean, it just is like, how would they reason when someone has just yelled at them? So that emotional support is
Yeah.
so vital.
Yeah.
So vital, so vital, and that carries on once you're able to get that done in for 11 plus, and as they go into their their levels in school, again secondary school, that's a new stage for children.
Yeah.
Again, emotional support, because they're going into a bigger school. So many things are going on in their minds about this big school, and so the support that we give them is key. I've seen and I've spoken to many young people who that transition has been one of the most challenging times of their lives,
Yeah.
and it's also a make or break as well in those transitional times.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
yes,
very
you're
much
welcome.
for this. Thank you.
You're welcome.
One last question. Please, viewers, if you're watching, write your comments. If maybe you haven't got questions, then that's fine. Let's see you thumbs up or something and say,
Yes,
oh, um we're on the right path with the discussion. So
yes,
yes, many aunts and uncles and friends, might be
yes.
like, oh, a child's result, how was it?
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, is
Yes,
you're not um under any compulsion to share the
yes,
child's result, da, da, da.
yes,
But of course, we
yes,
know like parents or
yes.
grandparents, or
Oh yes,
we want to be
oh
asking
yes,
the right questions.
yes.
Recently, I learned something from I can't remember what video I was watching about
Mm-hmm.
how to ask. Okay, it was one of those maybe YouTube, or I can't remember where,
Yeah, yeah.
asking, oh, children it's better not to ask them what are your results, that it's
Yes,
better to ask them, are you happy with your results?
yes,
Because
yes.
you don't want to
Totally.
start saying, oh, did you get an A or a C or a B or 9, or
No, 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 no.
so
Totally,
can you please
totally.
educate us more on this?
Yes, yes, because I have lots of teenagers who did A levels, and what I
Mm,
did in the morning, I sent them a video saying, you know what, guys, we're rooting for you. Whatever it is, we're here for you, and we're rooting for you. All the best. That's what I shared with them. And then afterwards, I said, I just did a thumbs up. Trust you're okay.
mm,
That's it. I don't want to know. I don't need to know the exact grades. And then I
mm,
had many of them send me messages. Auntie, we did good. Auntie, I got the results I wanted. Or Auntie, some were good, some were not as good. So, but not asking the what did you get? Nah, not at all. Please do
that's
not.
the
And
usual thing.
and it's the usual thing exactly. And then also what we did, because I had my niece also did her A levels and stuff. And in our family WhatsApp group, we
Hmm.
just said, how, Jessica, how, you okay? Everybody says she's fine. Good. That's it. So, of course, I knew the exact grades that she got because she called me to tell me. But it wasn't something that we then shared. Okay, we didn't need to if it wasn't necessary. But asking her directly,
Hmm.
no, didn't ask her directly. She gave us the information. So I think that's important that we don't. And I know many aunties and uncles will want to ask, so what did you get? What did you get? Well, uncle, I did well. Auntie, I did well. But if you want to give the results, then yes, please feel free to do that. I mean, grandma knows the results. Her aunties know the results. So that's fine. But again, I think for us, asking those questions is hope they're happy, trust they're happy,
Hmm.
and stuff like that. So, and I think that's key. We don't need to know the exact results if it's not necessary, or if they're not exact. Just be observant. If they share it with you, good. If you see that they're not sharing it with you, then be mindful of
Yeah.
that. As be emotionally aware. Do you know what I mean? Be emotionally aware. They're not sharing it with you because there must be a reason they're not sharing with you. So just respect that. Do you know what I mean? Respect that,
Yeah.
because I for me, I am quite observant. If the person gives it freely, then fine. If the person doesn't, then I respect that, and I'm like, hey, all the best, and that stuff like that. So I think that's really, really that's important. Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
I think
welcome.
we've come to the end of the
Ah.
questions, and we've had so much. You've mentioned, our
Mm,
reaction. You said our reaction as parents is key. We need to be
yes.
mindful of that. We said one thing that gets in the way of our reaction is what will people say? What will
Yes.
people say? I'm sure, from the culture where we come from, that's especially when you say, "Oh, my child is going to be a doctor," and then
Yes. Yes.
someone
Yes. Yes.
I know. So things like that.
Oh.
And your
Yes.
child's result is nobody's business. So avoid being put
Yes.
under pressure to share results. It should
Yes.
primarily be for the purpose of inspiration. You said we
Yes.
shouldn't take the results personal because
Mhm.
parents take the results as their own results of how well they've trained their children or how well they
Yes.
have um, been good parents or bad
Yes.
parents or how
Yes.
badly. And then you said three questions every child is asking themselves is, am I loved? Does
Mhm.
this grade determine the outcome of my life? Does life give me another chance?
Chance.
And you said
Yes.
children's resilience are being tested at this moment, so we need
Yes.
to tread with caution. You also
Yes.
mentioned that we need to avoid asking them too many questions on the day of their
Mhm.
exam or telling them off. So
Mhm.
give them that day off.
Yes,
You know,
please.
um, you said they need to feel the emotional support from family. Many of them are scared of the reactions of their parents.
Yes.
We need to avoid comparison and leave the excitement to them.
Mhm.
Yeah, when they get their results, make sure you're praising their effort, their hard work that they've put into it. And if they didn't do well, ensure you give them a hug, sometime out, put some time out,
Take some
talk about,
writings.
take some
Mhm.
time out to
Mhm.
talk about the next step. And
Yes.
then we went, oh, at the end, you said we don't need to ask them what they got, but rather ask them if they are happy with their results. I think, yeah, we mentioned
Yes.
that. So,
Yes.
are there any
Yes.
last words for those who are watching? Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for
Thank
sharing. Thank you
you.
for
Thank you,
liking.
guys.
Thank you for sharing your time with us by
Mhm.
supporting. Because if it's
Yes.
just two of us talking to ourselves, no point. But thank you out there. And if you're gonna watch again, thank you
Yes, the
for watching,
replay.
taking
Yeah.
time out to watch. So please let's be emotionally supportive of our children
Yeah.
because I think what we need to think of is when we were like them, what did we
Yes.
expect? Because if
Totally.
we can do that and remember
Totally.
those years ago when you had your
Yes.
results, were you happy for people to just start asking you questions about, oh, was
Mm.
it an A, was it a
Mm.
B, was it a C? Were you
Yes.
happy
Yes.
for people to just tell you off at every slightest thing and then remind you of how you
Yes.
failed or how you
Mhm.
all
Mhm.
of those things. So please let's
Yes.
put
Yes.
ourselves in their shoes at this moment and
Yes.
remember
Yes.
how we felt when we were teenagers. So
Totally.
any
Totally.
last words from you before we call it a wrap for today?
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, this having this conversation has helped as well because it's kind of reignited what I need to do as well with my daughter because my daughter as well is going to be getting her results on Thursday. So that's kind of just reminded me and stuff. And I think the last minute thing or the last kind of final words that I want to share with parents is that parents, you guys are amazing. You've done your best. You've supported in the best way that you can, and what we see from this is after results day is going to determine, okay, are you stepping it up? Are there gaps that you need to cover up? Do you need to support more? Or so there's just so many things about this result day actually that determines now they're going into GCSE A level stage. Please note that your parenting will change as they get into the A level stage, their next stage. It's not the same way you parented them at 16 that you're going to parent them
Mm,
at 17. It's
mm,
going you're going to need to evolve. Make your conversations. And I know many parents are doing this now where your conversations with your teenagers at this stage are more dialogues, more asking them what they think about certain things that you want to do, what they think about this. Because again, the more dialogues you have, conversations that you have with your children, just GCSE year children, the more they can deal with dialogues outside there in the world. Let's avoid the monotonous talk. Go and do this. Go and do that. If you want your children to go and do something, ask them what they're doing at the moment. When they're free, can they do this? Can they do that?
mm,
It helps them manage their own time better. So that if they were watching something, they know, okay, mom wants me to get this thing done by the end of the day. So when in the day am I going to do it? And then
mm,
they try and figure that out. Again, by doing that, you're helping them also manage their own help, also do time management. Don't insist that they do something right away. That's
mm,
not, they're grown-ups now. Yeah, and we need to treat them like grown-ups so that they then act responsible. It's the way we treat them that they're going to respond to. If we keep going, go and do this right now because I said so, you're not you're not you're not showing the child that they're growing. You're not showing the child that 16 is a big age. So it's important that we start to talk to them and respond to them in the way, as almost like you're talking to an adult, and that's how they're going to kind of shift with you and grow with you as well. at that stage. So I thought I'd add that there because yes, I
Yeah.
know we talked about exams, but also in the way that we communicate with our children to help them to be able to face what's going to happen next in this next post 16 stage of their lives. So that would be my encouragement
Wow.
to
Wow.
you.
Thank
Yes,
you. Thank you
you
very
are
much.
welcome.
I
You're
can't thank
welcome.
you enough. But
You're welcome.
I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. I know you're
You're
very busy.
welcome.
And someone sent a comment. Yeti One
Yes.
Able says
Uh-huh.
awesome session.
Oh,
And I'm
bless.
picking up many wisdom. And
Awesome.
then
Awesome.
she said, like he or she said, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, once we
Yes.
eliminate the what will people say mindset, it makes things easier. I think, yeah.
Much,
So
much, much easier. Much easier.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you very
Yes.
much. Oh, yeah.
Ye-
Thank you
Yeah.
very
Okay.
much for watching. Thank you for coming. This
Thank
is where we call
you.
it a wrap and we say have a lovely evening. Thank
Yes.
you for being a blessing to your generation. The Lord give you
Thank you.
more wisdom and more time
Amen.
and healthy state of mind to do more, you know,
Amen.
to the world around you. Thank you very much for being a blessing.
Thank you.
God
God
bless you.
bless you too.
Bye.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for watching and for watching the replay as well. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. God bless you all. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye. So there you go, viewers. You've heard it all. You know, let's take the right steps so that our children can come to us when they need to. Let us be their support system. Let them not go out there searching for answers online and all, because they could get the wrong answers. People have done terrible things to themselves in the past when they got bad results, and people have gone overboard, getting drunk and killing themselves even when they achieve the results. So let's strike a balance. Thank you, Yeti One Able, for also being here. Thank you for as many who are listening out there who haven't made a comment, but you are quiet listeners supporting this video. Thank you very much. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next time for another exciting, awesome awareness on topics to come. Thank you very much, and bye bye.